you, everyone. And it's just such an honor to be here. And as I'm the lucky lady who gets to wrap up today's performance, I think I'd like to set this stage. I'd like to thank Charla from us all. Charla has a mission. She has a passion. She knows how to bring us all together. And she does a huge amount for women around this planet. And I think that is, I could kind of cry. I do that every now and then. I love the concept, it's a passion for me, of women changing the world. I mean, we've been trying to change the world for a couple of million years, but I think right now, we have a better chance to change the world right now than we have ever had. Great, good, you're with me. And I'd like you to leave today with three thoughts. Oh, three. I'm very good at math. With three thoughts. One is, in your soul, every one of you right now, deep in your soul, do you want to change the world? Does everyone want to change the world? Anyone not? If you want to change the world, how are you going to do it? Are you going to take action? Because it ain't going to work if you sit on your tush. So if you want to take action, now's the time. If you want to be visible, you have the tools. And I think we're living in the most amazing time, and things are going to change quite a lot in the next few years, that will make it feasible for us to communicate with everyone around the world. So that's my message. One is, if you want to change the world, time to do it. Two is be visible. And three is embrace what is about to happen on this planet, because I think it's going to be quite amazing. I've got that lovely picture of Charla's Fearless Women Summit. Do you know that is a rock in Norway? It's called the Troll's Tongue. And you can go out. Has anyone been to the Troll's Tongue in the room? I haven't either. But you can go out onto that rock and be fearless. Now, who in that room would walk out on that rock and be fearless? You would, I would for sure. A lot of us would. I mean, it's fantastic, isn't it? Then who would do this? No, that reaches my limit too. I would not be doing this. Michelle, where are you? I mean, Michelle, I reckon, would do that. Yeah, I know, she's nodding, she would. We have limits of fearlessness, don't we? And I would say there are lots of phrases about being fearless that I love, but the one I really love is be fearless in pursuit of what lights a fire in your soul. And that to me is a beautiful phrase. We've been talking a lot about being fearless today, but we've also been talking about how one woman can change the world. And if you're fearless, you can change the world. I mean, that's going to make you take action. If you're ho-hum, I don't really care if I change the world or not, you're probably not going to change the world. But if you're fearless, you have a fire in your soul, you have a passion, you're going to get up and you're going to change the world. So you're going to be fearless. But for me, the other thing you need to be today is visible. And today we can be visible, which is truly amazing. We can be, I mean, I'm talking to you now, maybe 200 or 300 women. If I had the video on right now, and I wouldn't because this is a private event, but we could be blasting this out to the world, okay? So we have incredible power right now. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I was going to be talking to a business women's group on Vancouver Island where I live. And I was talking about being visible. It's kind of a theme of mine. It's what I like to talk about. And I was trying to put my talk together, and it wasn't good enough. I knew I was missing something. I was missing a hook. I was missing the message of the power of being visible. I was really pissed off, actually. It's about 9 o'clock at night, and I was thinking, I need something to make this go. And I was working on my computer, and so what I did was displacement activity. When we can't do something, we do something else, right? And I went to YouTube to watch the news, and at that moment on the news, Oprah was getting up to the Golden Globes and going on stage. And I sat there, and I watched this. 972 words, that's all she said. And in those 972 words, she gave us a summary of her story, which we all know is an amazing story. She gave us a story about racial discrimination, sexual molestation, and she gave us a message of hope. Pow, boom, out of the ballpark. It was incredible. Did everyone see that? And I sat there and I just said, oh, thank you, Oprah. You've just given me my hook on the power of visibility, because that's what she was doing, okay? You may not have realized this, but over the next 10 hours, overnight, shouldn't have taken that Benadryl. Overnight, next morning, 500,000 people had seen that on YouTube. It was across Facebook, social media, mainstream media. That is what you can do if you're visible. Now, Oprah knows the power of being visible. She's been doing it all her life. She does it very, very deliberately. You know, Charlotte, the power of being visible. You've got 200 and something thousand following you on Facebook. Michelle knows the power of being visible. She's got 72,000 following her on her YouTube channels. You've got to go to her YouTube channel, it's great. But this visibility is very deliberate. And what Oprah has done with her messages over the years is she's shown visibility. That's given her credibility, influence, and impact like you wouldn't believe. So if you really want to make a difference in this world, visibility, get your credibility, get your influence, and get your impact. It is incredibly powerful. Now, just suppose I had gone up. I'd taken Oprah's 972 words. I'd said them with all the passion I could muster. Do you think I would have had 500,000 views on my YouTube channel the next day? No, because I haven't built the cred that Oprah has built over the years. And in fact, as Charla mentioned, the real joke is the fact that I'm even here talking about visibility. Because as Charla said, I spent 44 years as a physician, as an anesthesiologist. You always have a bad hair day. And in those 40 years, I mean, I'm totally invisible. You can't think of a more invisible profession. You come to see me, and I say, chat to you for a couple of minutes, and then I put my monitors on you, and I say those magic words. In 5 seconds, you'll be asleep. And I become invisible to you, right? You become invisible to everything. So the fact that I am now in my 70s, encouraging you to be visible is a bit crazy. So why did I do it? Well, it seems to have been a theme today. We all change our lives at an event. The event of the day for most of us here, up here speaking, has been a divorce. And the same thing happened to me. When I was 60, I underwent a very painful divorce after 37 years of marriage. And all of a sudden, a lot of us have been through it, but all of a sudden you're looking at a completely different life. You don't know where you're going to go. That was in 2007. The next year, the financial crash. And I had this kind of, I don't do visions. I'm a bit like Odette. I'm black and white, but I had a vision. And I saw the number of people who were going to have their later lives, where I am now, pretty much destroyed by this financial crash. It was going to be tough to come back for so many folks. So I started thinking about how am I going to help these women, especially because we live much longer than men. How am I going to help women be prepared financially and emotionally for these added years they're going to have in their later years? Because most of you are probably going to live, I hate to tell you, 100, 120, 130. Yeah, I'm not joking. I'm not nuts. I'm not joking. That's coming up. And coming back to you now, if you think about your life, I'm always looking at life on the eternal film strip of life. It's an ongoing movie, isn't it? It's the never-ending story. And each one of you came into this world. Your cameo appearance in this world was your birthday. And then you live your life, and you're going to exit stage left on your death day. not being morbid, at the moment it's going to happen. When we get immortality, well, maybe you'll live a little longer. So you have this cameo appearance that is your life on the eternal film strip of life. And you have a choice. We're lucky because in this country we do have a choice. What are you going to do with those years? That's when you determine your life. And we know that life is not a dress rehearsal. So you either do what you want to do now or you don't. I mean, it's quite as simple as that, right? So for me, what I want to do in my later years is encourage women to get out there, tell their stories, and give their messages to the world. Because I tell you, like Odette was saying, every single one of you has a story to tell, and that story is important. And you can do it individually. One woman can change the world, or we know that thing of Margaret Mead's about, you know, a committed group of citizens can change the world. And it's our time, and things are happening across this planet right now that make it even easier for us to do it. We're all used to face-to-face networking and face-to-face talking, like I am right now, but it's limited. Once you move out into video and social media, you go out to a much, much bigger world. And I just want to give you an idea of how huge your reach can be. I live on Vancouver Island, like I said. I call it the far-flung, forgotten outpost of Western civilization. You get to the island and it's like, ho-hum, the village tottles on, right? That's my local, 760,000 people I could potentially touch on my local. And it's easy to think of it as a local because it's surrounded by water, right? I mean, the country mouse has come up to the town this weekend. I come to Vancouver, the big city. So with 760,000 people on the island, I could touch maybe, I don't know, a proportion of those, right? Assume the proportion is the same. If I then go out on video, I can go out to 7.6 billion people, which is the number of people on the planet. I'm not going to reach them all. But if you look at that, you are 10,000 times extending your reach. That is power, okay? Now, at the moment, this is where I think it gets really cool. At the moment, of the 7.6 billion people on this planet, 3.9 billion are online. But it's thought that within 4 years, by 2022, everyone will be online. That is 7.6 billion people coming online. That is people, they're called the rising billions. Have you heard that phrase? The rising billions are coming online, and this is where Charlotte and I, with Africa and other places, that's where my heart goes. They're hungry for knowledge. They're so hungry to learn. And we have the wisdom to give and the wisdom to help them. I know these ladies, in Uganda. I took this photo about 4 years ago now. They live in a teeny little village, no electricity. But in the last 2 years, they've now got cell phones, because cell phone coverage in Africa is fantastic, right? So they have cell phones, and now for the first time ever, they have set up a system of being able to monitor family violence. They'll get a message on their cell phone, someone will go out and stop the family violence. They are doing surveys of their communities, the numbers of people, the numbers of kids. They're keeping crop records, they're keeping livestock records. They are coming on and learning so fast. Now then, if you also look at, you make a video, you shove it up on YouTube, you forget about it. But you never know who you influence. I bet Michelle is nodding. She knows how you can influence with video. I don't know if you know this guy. His name is Julius Jaeger, as you can see. He's the world javelin champion. He was a few years ago. He never had any formal training for the javelin. What he did was go down. He lived in a little village in the Rift Valley. He'd go down to his local internet cafe. Those of you who know Africa, it's kind of a breeze block room with a clunky old PC, and it's just about impossible even to get a YouTube video up. But he did, and he watched YouTube videos of javelin throwing, and he watched technique, and he became world champion. You never know who's going to be influencing when you put yourself out there. And we have this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity coming up now, the next 4 years, where if we get organized, we can really take a message to the world, individually or as a group, and help people massively. And how do we do it? Oh, we do it with this guy. I love him. All you need to send a message to the world is this guy. The power is amazing. And I know you can all just hit a red button, say what you want to say, and get your message out there. Because what is amazing is in 10 years, we're now at 82% of all web traffic being video. So if you're not using video and you're doing anything on the web, well, you may as well forget it, because if you need to do video, if you're doing anything on the web. Now I'm going to go back to Oprah again, because what I've been talking about is us taking our message to people who need us. But if you really want to create influence in this world, you, every single one of you, is within one click of one of the world's biggest influencers. Now, if you look at this video, it's one that Oprah made. She does her Christmas shopping list, right? Big deal. But she gets 700,000 people watching Oprah do her shopping list. So big deal. But look what is at the bottom there. It says, add a comment. You want to follow Oprah? You want to be in Oprah's sphere of influence? You want to be in anyone's sphere of influence? Add a comment. Add something useful. Add something of value. And keep doing it. Because Oprah has a team of people scouring her social media, looking for people who want to come into her world. She's always looking for interesting people. If you wanted to get onto Oprah's radar, you just start adding comments to her Facebook posts. You can do it. Everyone can do it. This is what is available to you if you have a passion and you have a mission and you want to go somewhere. Now, the funny thing is, totally unintentionally, I've done this myself. This is Gary Vaynerchuk. Anyone heard of Gary Vaynerchuk in here? Okay, Gary is the biggest video marketer in the world. He's full of F words. He's quite urban, and he's a bit dark, and he's wonderful. He made this video a few years ago, 6 minutes for the next 60 years of your life, and it hit me deeply because I am Gary's avatar in this video. I am the old biddy who is going into an entrepreneurial life in her later years, and this is who he is gearing this message to in this video. So I kept coming back to it. It's a really neat video. And his language, he's a New Jersey boy, right? So I decided I would make my video, all happy, happy, joy, mountains and sea in Victoria, take his words and make my video for fun. It's about a year ago. So I did. And then I did the video and I thought, oh crumbs, I might be in trouble. I may be done for copyright, okay? So I thought, oh well, I'll send it to Gary's team and I'll ask him if I can put it up. So I sent the video off, just put it on his website, sent it off. And I said, can I publish this on my YouTube? And they were really nice. They said, yeah, go ahead, it's fun. So I did, and that was in about January last year, and then I forgot about it. And in April, my phone, bang, 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 bang. Love your video, love the video, love the video. I'm like, what video? I had no idea.
So stop making excuses.
Oh, these millennial kids are so entitled.
Oh, these kids didn't have to work as hard as we did. Nobody cares if you're 40, 70, 90.
Alien, female, male, minority.
The market will accept your victories.
If you are good enough to have a victory.
And I believe more than ever
that if you are a 49-year-old housewife with 2 kids.
Because of this phone, you've got more opportunities
to create something for yourselves.
Do not allow just the 18 and 14 and 22-year-olds to grab at this pie.
That is so available to all of us, regardless of our age.
We're gonna live longer. The opportunity is real. For the 58-year-old right now that's watching this, you're gonna live another 40 years.
40 years of being able to do something you love is a big deal. Start recognizing this isn't just a young person's game.
Start representing the people that actually put in the work. The
gray hairs, that context. that knowledge.
Start deploying that. Educate yourself on the new world.
You didn't grow up with Instagram, you didn't grow up driving, and you learned that.
Stop making excuses, start getting educated in the actual world.
This video is made for one reason.
I want it to be the calling card, the seed of the explosion of the 40 to 80-year-old entrepreneur in our society.
I mean, what a joke, eh? 252,000 views later. I know, isn't it amazing? I did it for fun, and I didn't know it was coming. Gary's guys picked my video up and they spliced it in. I could never have done the video editing as well as that. But my point again is, if you don't make the video, if you don't put it out there, nothing's going to happen. Now for me, people will come up to me and say, oh, you're the lady who did that video with Gary. And I'll say, yes, because it gives you huge visibility and cred. And that's just a one-off, really. But I'm going to go back now to this, finish up with this idea that if you do want to change the world, if you want to do something, you can do it locally, but it's not going to impact the same way as if you take it global. So one woman can change the world. One woman, several women coming together, a la Margaret Mead, can change the world. All we have to do is get there, be visible on video, pick up your phone, have your message, click that red button, which is going to be scary the first time you do it. But as soon as you've done it, you'll be able to think of staples. Ding! That was easy. And you can do it again and again, and you can take your message to the world. And I would love to see us all do that, because we've got this opportunity in the next 4 years to make a huge difference. Thanks.